Well, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Live at the Waterhole, everyone. My name is Amy, and I will be with you for the show today. We are starting off with some beautiful elephants here at Tembe Elephant Park up in northern KwaZulu-Natal of South Africa. And this bull deciding to cool down, splashing himself with some water there. Not so much that the water itself is cool. You can imagine how warm it must be baking in the heat all day, but as the wind blows and it comes into contact with the air outside, it cools down on the outside of the body, similar to, I suppose, that of what sweat does or perspiration does for us as humans. But remember, everyone, that this is a live and interactive show. I'd love to hear from you. So, as always, please do send through those comments and questions to me. I'd love to chat to you or find out who you are, where you're watching from, maybe what snacks you have ready, what you're hoping to see today, what you love about the show. And you can send those through on the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to us in the YouTube chat stream, or you can join the conversation on X using the hashtag Wild Earth. Johan, you're asking for a lot of birds today. Fingers crossed. It can always be a bit tricky with the cameras to get the birds on, especially if they move, but we will do our very best. There are a few spots that I know that we have some great birding that we're able to do. Always keen for that. This eddy's now come over to the bit of sand blasting. It'll stick nicely to that wet mud he threw on himself just now. Jen, hello to you. You say happy cat day. Ooh, who knows? Maybe we'll get a cat. We've seen lions before here at Tembe, and a few other waterholes along the way. With the heat coming through today, seems like the clouds have cleared somewhat. Even in the low veld here, it looks like the next week or so, there's not too much chance of rain. So hopefully things will dry out a little bit and we'll be able to drive all over once again. But with the heat, maybe the cats will get a bit thirsty and want to come for some water. Ooh, I've been waiting to see this little one. Let's head over to Juma. Oh, I've seen the videos and screenshots of this little water buck mommy and calf, and I haven't seen it for myself yet out on drive. But here we go. Oh, this is so cute. It must have just been born. I'm not sure exactly when it was first seen. It was a few days ago. But mom sort of, as they do, breaks away and has the little one in the thickets, and then sort of just taking care of it now. Oh, that is so cute. Mercedes, hello to you as well. Thank you for saying hi. It's lovely to know that you're watching. Really is just a little mini me. Fuller, lovely to hear from you. You're watching from a chilly UK. You're hoping for some elephant's mud bathing. Well, we did start off with a little bit of that, but I know what you mean. Hopefully, we get a whole herd having some fun at the water. Maybe even some bulls coming for a swim or something like that. Would be awesome. Of all the places for these waterbuck to move to, they move behind the bush. It's unbelievable how that happens sometimes. I'm sure they might come out again soon. Wondered where that little one had gone to. I just saw it race past. It's beautiful to see this mom taking such good care of this little one. Look how she's grooming it now. Stephanie, you say cute. It is growing up so fast. Oh my goodness, if this is already it growing up, I can't imagine what it looked like when it was first seen. But it's a great time to have a baby out here. It's so easily hidden in this long grass of the summer. Fuller, you're hoping there are no crocs in the water? That the little one must be careful. Me too. I haven't seen any crocs in this particular waterhole myself, but that's not to say that they aren't there, and I'm definitely not going to be going for a swim. But absolutely a danger for not only the baby, but also the adult, although babies are often a little bit less um, aware of their surroundings, and that's why mom keeps it close. She's looking at something now. But she's doing a great job. We might come back and spend some more time with these two, but let's head over to Hyena Pan, where some elephants are coming down to the water. Oh, it gets me every time. This is such a beautiful scene. It almost looks fake. The water with the reflections, the green, the trees, the sky, and the elephants. Colin, hi. Thank you so much. It's good to be here at the show today, and I am loving the waterhole so far. I think it only means it's going to be a great one today. Very relaxing, and like I say, these scenes are just so perfect here in Botswana. It's nice to see these elephants. Looks like a bachelor herd. A few boys that have come down for perhaps some water. Perhaps they're going to splash themselves a bit. I don't know how hot it is. It doesn't look, it looks quite overcast, let me say that. Possibly some rain coming this side, some very dark clouds reflected in the water here. So maybe not going to get elephant pool party at this waterhole today. Oh, there's another boy arriving. Oh no, maybe this is a herd. Ah, it's a herd coming now. Oh, look at this. Wonderful. always wonderful to see so many arriving, and nice that the bulls weren't grumpy at all. They let the females with the little ones in, no problem. Well, this was all dry. I mean, all the trees there on the right. I remember seeing elephants standing and having a sort of a snooze in the shade, with completely dry ground. And now it's flooded. Yeah, Stevie G, absolutely. When we came back here after having a bit of break over um, the festive season and doing my first waterhole show and coming here back for the first time this year, if it wasn't for that well, it looks like a completely different location. I can't believe it since the rains have come. It's gorgeous with the reflections of these trees in the water. In the very early morning, I've actually seen when there's sort of no wind. It looks like a mirror lake. It's stunning. Wild at heart, you also say this is a breathtaking view. It really is. Listen, I think the pool parties that you're speaking of are sort of the cleanliness that it brings is um, a little bit of a byproduct. Sometimes they actually end up getting dirtier from the pool parties rather than cleaner, depending how much water is in the water hole. When they're having a proper swim, yes, it definitely does clean off all the mud and dust and sand, but often then they go and put it right back on again. So it's more to do with cooling down and also having some fun. Puma, hello. Lovely to have you with us today for Live at the Waterhole. And you say you really actually get to see it live. So it's wonderful to have you with us here. And we've just been enjoying these elephants coming for a drink, but now moving off through the Mpanis. Just look how green it is. Wow. It is a transformed landscape, that's for sure. Johan was, I don't know how much further we can zoom in, but I know there was a request for birds from Johan, and I'm sure a few of you also enjoy them. If we can, there is a bird in that dead Mapani tree on the right. I'm not sure. We can have a look at what it is. It might just be a starling, to be fair. Penelope, you want to know how I sustain my voice for 3 shows a day? I must say, I haven't been struggling with my voice sort of going croaky or disappearing at all. Um, Now that I'm doing this a lot more frequently, I think my voice is adjusting to not going hoarse or anything like that. I think I also don't strain my voice when I'm speaking here. I just sort of talk in my normal tone. I'm not shouting or anything like that, which also helps. So it's a lot of talking. And I think when I did start doing Wild Earth, I remember the first few days that my voice did take a little bit of strain. Ah, there are these birdies. There's a fork-tailed drongo on the right there. There's something else on the left. I'm not sure what that was. The little group of birds, sort of lighter and darker. Oh, there's a starling. Looks like a dove just landed on the top right. Well, let's head over to Tao. Oh, beautiful. Wow. This is, oh, just the colors with those yellow flowers, all this greenery, and the black and white of the zebra head. Danielle, I absolutely agree with you. It is so vibrant out here, and I just feel like it's even greener at Tao than before. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's some fresh rains that have fallen. It's looking a little bit overcast. Maybe, I don't know. But it's really looking beautiful. Yes, Catherine, it does look like it's been oversaturated in Photoshop. Like someone's put an extra filter over the green. It almost looks fake. Like, oh no, they used a filter. You can't get that color. But no filters here. Hashtag no filter. Looks like they're all looking at something. I'm not sure. No one isn't interested whatsoever. Hilary, you'd like to know if more animals give birth standing up or sitting down, and which one is safer, in my opinion. I think most of them do it sitting down. They stand for a very long time, and then sort of as the baby comes out, after seeing the videos, things of rhino and zebra, they sort of on their side, and then almost immediately they're up again. Giraffe is different. I believe the mom stands because it would be should be extremely vulnerable if she was sitting down. And of course, elephant as well. It's also standing. Just the larger animals do that, but I think with majority they do it sitting down. It's interesting because they will sort of walk, and sometimes you even see the fetus starting to come out, and then they sort of like collapse a little bit at the end. And that's of course to protect the infant, or the very little baby calf or lamb from any injury that may come from dropping onto a hard surface. Oh, lovely. Well, let's head over to Safari Hook for some more zebras. Quite contrasting scenes, even though it actually has greened up a little bit in the background. Still quite a much drier area all year round here in Namibia. And these are also the same species of zebra. We were very lucky the other day to have both mountain zebra and plain zebra on screen here at the same time, which was very cool. It looks like they've decided to have a rest here, right in the sun as well. There's a little calf with its eyes closed. It's very sweet. And even the one standing, also just having a moment. Oh, I can hear some zebras calling in the distance. Mindy, I know what you mean. You wonder if it won't be harder for them to get up with all the rocks surrounding them. I also don't think it would be too comfortable to be lying down there, to be honest with you. But what do I know? I'm not a zebra. And I think for them, getting up and down is quite easy, even if there are some rocks. Oh, cute. Let's head back over to Juma for some more water buck. Oh my word. This is amazing. There's two of them. And I was reading about them that they sort of stay away from the herd for about 30 days and then they'll like introduce the little one back to the rest of the group. But I suppose if there's two moms with babies like this, maybe they do hang out together. Also, it could be time for them to all get back together now after a month. Oh, this is just too cute. Also, have to keep our eyes open for this lesser moorhen that was seen at this waterhole. Quite a rare bird, very migratory in its movements, not necessarily following the range really, and they do breed. So it'd be very cool to see it during the show. This one is constantly pointing out its tail. I don't know why. Like it wants to poop, but it's not pooping. Also, when they move there, you could see how wet it is actually surrounding this water hole as well. There's a hardy ibis. Just moved off to the right. So PB and jam, when it comes to waterbuck, depending on whether it's a male or female, it may potentially stay with its mother and that natal herd for its life. If it's a male, it'll go through a time then when it breaks off and sort of is a maybe forms part of a bachelor herd. I don't think there's social structure in terms of, like elephants, where females and their offspring stay together for life unless they're male and then they're kicked out and have to move on. But I think it is a similar approach to that. And then, you know, there would have to be a point where that male would take, a male would then have to take females over. Um, he would hold the territory, and the bulls compete for dominance in that territory, and can be quite vicious fights. And the females move through areas, and of course, if they happen to come across a bull with that has a territory and a water source that they like, he gets to mate with the females who come into season. So we do tend to see bulls and herds with one dominant bull sort of hanging about. But I've also seen multiple bulls hanging with a single herd. But I think as long as they're submissive, they tolerate it. But these little ones won't be going anywhere anytime soon. They don't sort of, if we think of leopards, for example, their cubs would become independent between 18 to 24 months. They leave mom, or mom leaves them. Whereas with antelope and prey species, that's not generally what happens. Well, we've had some entertainment here. I'm not sure what the little groups were doing. It seemed like one was chasing the other. Oh, the baby's gonna suckle. Oh, that's very cute. Also, the one little water buck got some sort of a fright. It seemed to jump over everyone to the other side. And these little ones will still suckle for a while, in between 6 to 8 months or so. It's been lovely to have so many waterbuck in the area. We go through stages where we don't have many at all, and that is, of course, when it gets drier. They don't tend to hang out around a dry water hole. They like to have water, hence their name, very close by. Gaurav, you were asking, is it if it's true that their taste is offensive to predators? Ooh, good question. It is a common belief that waterbuck are avoided by predators because of the taste, but I don't believe that's true. It is true that they do have an oil in their skin. As humans, if we are to eat waterbuck, it's very important in the processing of the meat that one does not. You've got to separate the skin from the meat and not touch, not cross contaminate, because if that sort of oil gets in or touches the meat, it's ruined. It's got this terrible taste. But for a lion, even a leopard that is eating, looking for food, they don't, as far as I know, there's no solid scientific backing to say that they avoid eating waterbuck because of the taste. I have seen for myself three young male lions take down a waterbuck bull and eat it, and it didn't look like they were having any problems with eating it. So I don't think taste, when it comes to predators, is very important. Um, Herbivores, to a degree, they do look at the palatability of what they're eating and the nutritional value of the grasses and trees and things like that available to them. But for the predators out here, meat is meat. Sandy, hello, lovely to hear from you. You are catching up with the last bit of our drive this morning. And yes, we had a wonderful morning out and enjoyed a lot of time with elephants, some beautiful sightings there. Fuller, you want to know, do waterbuck just have one baby? For the most part, yes. Twins in mammals is not very common at all. I do believe that it's thought that waterbuck can have twins. I mean, any mammal species can have twins. I mean, if not more than two. Generally, when we look at antelopes, though, elephants, and larger mammals that breed, they have one single young at a time. I do believe twins has been recorded for a waterbuck, but I'm also very, let's say, cautious of saying when you see one mom with two babies of a similar age that they are hers and twins. I suppose one way to confirm would be if they both suckled from the same female, because often sometimes you may have two little ones with one female, even in this situation, and we can't see the other mother, but it looks like they're the same size, they're with one female, and you might think that they are twins, but in this case they're not. Each one has its own mom. So twins are possible, but not common. It does look like they are moving off now into the thickets. Let's head back over to hyena. Oh my goodness, where are you going? Why not just walk around? There's actually quite a lot of bird life around. I see one walking on the ground there on the right. Oh, there's a giraffe on the other side of the waterhole, I think. It's a bit far, but those do look like giraffes. Looks like two just above the elephant, and then one right on the shore of the water to the right. I love to scan around as well and just see what may be around that we haven't even noticed, especially such a beautiful scene like this. It is unbelievable. Oh, sweet. I think that elephant is a tiny baby that's suckling. Maybe not suckling this moment. It looked like it for a second, but see how small it is, still well underneath mom's belly. Can stand right between her front legs. Trying to reach up to the teat. Looks like a tiny. Somehow I wasn't even sure where to look for the teeth. But it goes good. we are being spoiled here at Hyena Pan today. Interesting to see this bull arriving. Just notice the size difference. How much bigger he is than the females. As I was saying, we've been so spoiled here with elephants, as well as some giraffes in the background. Oh, hello, little birdies. These are young drombos again. We've been seeing the fledglings around Juma, also sort of a bit mottled with a few little pale specks on them. I'm sure they were a pair that were nesting in the ponies. Danielle, there is inbreeding in the animal world, absolutely. And yes, you can have the father of a female then mating with his offspring in that same herd. It does happen. Fortunately, when it comes to um, the animals, that doesn't have such. It can be okay for a few generations. And because elephant herds do move over quite a large area, that is okay. And see it in elephants do not have a massively negative effect on them. Even it happens with leopards and lions as well. Dominant males will mate with females and then they'll mate with their offspring. So the family lines aren't drawn quite the same as it is for. I'm just having a little rest against the tree. another elephant herd has just arrived here for a drink in Botswana. And how lucky are we that we get to watch them. PB and Jam, you say that's another dramatic landscape background. It never gets old. It doesn't. This whole scene, especially with the dramatic sky today, and the clouds, the sort of threat of rain coming down at any moment, has just produced such a beautiful scene. Yeah, I can't hear that man. Angela, you agree, also saying it's a beautiful scene, and so many adorable baby elephants. Yes, we have been lucky. Interesting. The one that's sort of on the left in the middle has a very curved up tusk. That female. Sometimes, well, often they're quite a lot lower or straight down. And it looks like she only has one tusk. Looks like there is one that at least went for a little bit of a swim. You can see how much darker the one is at the back. Oh, those two young ones are playing a little bit in the background. They're a little bit blocked by the elephants that are currently drinking. But wow, what a scene. And already they're starting to move off. They've just come for a drink. And clear communication that takes place from the matriarch to the herd to say it's time to move off. that one's having a good little scratch on that tree. I think many of the trees here are used as rubbing posts for the elephants. And some others coming out now also with some babies. And PB and Jan, you want to know how many kilometers is the Botswana waterhole from the Djuma Dam? So I actually just looked this up because I knew it was far. We on sort of the eastern side, far side of South Africa, and Pan in Botswana is quite far up north in the Chobe area, northern Botswana. So I knew it would be quite far away. And it is probably, this isn't sort of as the crow flies, but it's 1,355 kilometers to drive from where I am right now, which is basically at Djuma Dam, to Pan in Botswana. Maybe as the crow flies, 1,200 kilometers, if you just go straight from one to the other. And in South Africa, we are used to driving distance, I must say. 1,350 kilometers is long. That's probably maybe 800 miles, maybe just less than that. We have quite a large country, and often one drives many hours to get from one sort of part of the country to the other. But it is a long way away. Well, that was wonderful to see these elephants here. Let's head up to East Africa, where apparently some baboons have come to. Oh, well, apparently the baboons have moved off, but we can do some birding here, which I know is always great at this spot. I was hoping we would be able to come and visit here for some birds. And already see some reds, and so there's some, here they are, some fine finches. And one or two other ones that I don't recognize actually, just by their vague appearance at the moment. I believe these are Jamisons. Yes, this is good. These very white brows. Beautiful colors. Looks like a variation of a familiar bird that we see in Southern Africa, but of course East Africa has its own species. Some are the same, like the Jamison's firefinch we also get down here. So I believe that bird that we saw there it was indeed a white-browed sparrow weaver. I thought so, with those very clear white brows on top of the head. So nice to know that it is the same. Phoebe and Jan, you want to know what are the red birds? Those are firefinches. And I believe this particular species is the Jamison's firefinch. Based just on what I could gather, can't see all the fine details, but it did look like they definitely had grey beaks. And then the other thing that I saw was so the male has the bright red coloration, the female is more grey with just a little bit of red around the face. But on that male, I also saw, they're the sparrow weaver nests. Well, that answers my question. Always helpful to gain extra information. So that bird with those white brows that we saw come down in the white throat, I thought looked like a sparrow weaver, but I was able to confirm it was white brows. The same species we also see in South Africa, actually. And those are their nests. I can recognize them straight away because I see them all the time at Mountain Zebra National Park, where I love to go and spend time in South Africa. Anyway, back to the firefinches. That male Jamison's firefinch is much redder than the African firefinch, which is the only other firefinch species that we see in this area that has the grey boat. There you go. So the sparrow weavers, you can see their nests are a little bit more messy. Not quite as neat as the yellow weavers that we see the sort of the lesser mast and village and southern mast weavers that really make neat nests. Let's head over for some more elephant September. Lovely and sunny here in northern KZN today. Darkwing Lover, you'd like to know how many miles it is to Amakala from Djuma. You know what? I just checked and I had a feeling that this may be the case, but it's almost exactly the same as Ahina Pan from Djuma. Maybe 30 kilometers more, which is also about 800 miles. So that is how far. Probably though in a direct line it's a little bit less, because the way the road network works in South Africa, you have to drive sort of inland first and then down, and then so it's not, you don't really have a direct route cutting from the east down to more of the south western area. It's not very west, it's almost right in the center of the southern part of South Africa, Amakala, from my neck of the woods in the Eastern Cape. So probably in a direct line, Amakala might be a little bit closer than Ahina Pan, but marginally. It's almost the same distance from here to there, north. And then if you sort of drag that same line directly south all the way, you'll end up at Amakala, which is very interesting. Kelly, hi. You are asking on behalf of your great uncle why there are never parrots sighted on the South African camera. Well, there are parrots that we get in these different areas. Jumadan Cam here where we are based, I think we have seen the brown-headed parrot before on the camera. That is the species of parrot that we find here in the Lowveld. But different areas would possibly have different parrots. In South Africa, we don't have that many species of parrots, and that is why they are a little bit, I suppose, less common. They don't have a large variety. They're not a super common bird. Brown-headed parrots, though, are commonly seen in the Lowveld. The other species are Myers parrot, which is seen a little bit further up north, and they're very small as well. Birds in general, to be able to see on the cameras, can be tricky, and they're not often birds that we see coming down to drink. And I think that is the key for this show, why we don't see parrots so much, even though they do occur in the areas where our cameras are. Just because I think they eat a lot of fruit and things like that, and a lot of the moisture that they need is actually from their diet. Hence, us not necessarily seeing them pop down to the water like firefinches and waxbills and starlings and things like that we see quite commonly. But if I hear a parrot calling at all, I will definitely point it out next time. Now some white-faced whistling ducks there. Well, it's nice to see an impala around. We went through a stage where there were so many here, but as these lambs are getting bigger and bigger, it does look like this female has quite a large belly. I don't know if it's just me, maybe still slightly swollen. Sometimes we have them have a lamb abnormally late, which is always a possibility, I suppose. One that just fell pregnant much later than the others. Would be sort of a month or more than a month after the others. Oh, well, apparently there is a wildebeest at town, so I think let's head over there. I just also wanted to come back to this beautiful scene because the colors are so awesome. And how many Egyptian goose are there? Goodness gracious. I think there must also be some very cool birds that show up here around this waterhole in the summer when the rains have come with an influx of water. This wildebeest is just looking very relaxed, I must say. Such a beautiful scene. I'm also surprised how quiet these Egyptian geese are. Usually when there's a group like this, we have males fighting or trying to impress females and can get a bit rowdy. Fuller, it is so lush here. You actually cannot believe that it does disappear so quickly in the coming months, depending on the amount of water that the rain that falls. But it does seem to overnight sometimes the greenery just disappears, and sort of by end of March, April again, we'll be looking at a very different view, but we will enjoy it while it is here. Spice, I agree. It is a fantastic spot to finish off the waterhole show today. Also nice to scan around and, like I say, keep our eyes open for any special birdies that may have arrived with the rains. Well, it has been a fantastic show, everyone. Oh, a beautiful horseback to finish off with. That's lovely. And thank you for everyone who sent through comments and questions today. It is so appreciated. It's lovely to chat to you all. And it's a pleasure, Dark Main Lover. I'm glad that you enjoyed the show and we've had some wonderful sightings and plenty of time with elephants. Show will be back tomorrow and I'll be back with you for it. I'm looking forward to that. Remember, we'll be live again this afternoon at 4 p.m. with a sunset safari. But until then, I wish you all a pleasant day or evening ahead, depending where you are in the world. And I'll see you all again.